to tape another video just doing some of the problems that I was having you do tonight for homework. So the first one, I'm on page 27 of your packet, and the first one is actually a tangent line and a secant line, and that's the vertex that's outside the circle. And so for a tangent line, I need to square the length of that tangent. And then for a secant line, I take the outside portion, which is 48, and then I multiply that by the whole. And the whole here is 48 plus x. So I'm going to end up writing that. And then we have to look at and move forward with multiplying this out or plugging in numbers. So I should have put outside times whole. So the tangent is 60 squared, and then the outside length is 48, and then the whole is 48 plus x. So then I take 3600 is equal to, and then I do 48 times 48, 2304 plus 48x, because I distribute the 48 to each of the terms inside. Then I subtract 2,304 from both sides, so I take 3600 minus 2304, and just because I don't have a whole lot of room, I'm not going to show you that. So that's 1296 is equal to 48x. And then I divide both sides by 48. And so in this case, x is equal to 27. So that gives an example of a tangent with a secant. If you look at number 23, that gives you an example of chords and chords. And the vertex is inside the circle. And because it's a chord, it's part times part is equal to part times part. Okay, and so I take the parts of my chord. So I have, this is one chord, so it's going to be 15 times 12 is equal to, this is my other chord, 10 times x. And 15 times 12 is 180 is equal to 10x. And then divide both sides by 10, and so x is equal to 18. Moving on down, when you move on down to the next section, it really gets to where you solve for x and then you have to plug it into the formula. So I'm going to do number 26 for you, or with you. So here again, I have a tangent. So I take that and square it. And then I have a secant. So it's going to be outside times whole. So my tangent is 30 squared. My outside length is 18, and my whole length is 18 plus 7x plus 4. And you cannot forget to add up the whole value there. So then I just multiply it out. 30 times 30 is 900, excuse me. And then I have 18 times 22 plus 7x. And so I take 18 times 22 is 396. And then 18 times 7 is 126x. And I subtract 396 from both sides. So I have 504 is equal to 126x, and divide both sides by 126. And so x is equal to 4. But in this case, it doesn't ask you what x is equal to, it asks you what RQ is equal to. And so I have to go back in and I have to plug in, and RQ is from here to here, 7 times 4 plus 4, and that's going to equal to 32. So that is your final answer there. The only other type that we have here, or there's a couple other types, but this is the secant times the secant, and so it's going to be outside times whole is equal to outside times whole, and when I do this, it's going to be 8 times 8 plus 6 is equal to 7 times 7 plus 3x minus 3. So here it's 8 times 14 is equal to 7 times 4 plus 3x. And 8 times 14 is going to be 112 is equal to 28 plus 21x, and do not forget to distribute the 7 to both terms. And 112 minus 28, 84 is equal to 21x, and divide both sides by 21, and x is equal to 4. And again, we're asked for AC, we're not asked for x, so basically I have to go here and I have to plug in 4, and then take 9 plus 7, and that's going to be 16. So the value of AC is 16 because it is actually the whole. So turning the page and looking at some other problems, the one that we didn't do is to have a tangent and a tangent. In that case, you would just have tangent squared is equal to tangent squared. But look at number 33. So 33 ends up, it's a diameter and a tangent. But if you think about it, half of the diameter is a radius, and the radius and the tangent always make a 90-degree angle. So in this case, the vertex of this angle is outside the circle, but doesn't matter because it forms a right angle. Therefore, it forms a right triangle where I have used the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So I go ahead and plug it in. Question mark squared plus 4 squared is equal to 8.5 squared. And I go ahead and figure that out. Question mark squared plus 16 is equal to 72.25. Subtract 16 from both sides. And then I take the square root to solve for the missing value of the diameter. So, and that value will be 7.5. So, that's how you solve them when you have a radius and a secant. And hopefully that'll help you do your homework tonight.